Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to my Saturday morning's live stream about IELTS. Um, Dear viewers, as you might be aware, this is a subscribers lesson only, uh, which means my subscribers can only join here. And if you're interested to join or sign up any of my lessons, you're more than welcome. What you have to do is just visit my account and sign up from there. And you have to pay 10 US dollars. And in return, you're going to get 8 lessons and hourly lessons, which will include reading, speaking, writing, practicing, and sometimes listening as well. As we might be aware, our English language has 4 main components like speaking, reading, writing, and listening. So all of these 4 components are taught through all of my lessons. Though each lesson has different name, but I try to cover all of them. Okay, and that is all about my courses. And if you have any questions or maybe you can't comment here, possibly I'm going to make a live stream later after finishing this subscribers lesson. Then you can ask me any question. I believe that there are many people who are watching, but they're not able to comment because of the control of this lesson, as it is a subscriber lesson once again. Okay, so I'll be back just in one moment. Okay, I'm back. My subscribers have requested that today I discuss tense, and I'm going to discuss today present tense. Okay, so bear me a moment, please. I'll be sharing the screen of the present tense in a moment. All right, so tense. We'll kick off our explanation as soon as we reach exactly 5:30 my local time, because the class is supposed to start from that specific point of time. Okay, so carry on watching in the meantime. And do not forget to touch the heart shaped symbol, guys. I'm sure you can at least touch the heart shaped symbol, which really motivates me, as well as gives me inspiration that you guys are there and you are enjoying the lesson. So once again, our local time is 5:29 a.m. Saturday morning is the UK time or GMT time, and you're watching the live stream from England. Okay, so we're going to start now. So the concept of tense. I'm sure more or less we all know grammar, especially when we are from different countries other than native countries. We are taught grammar in our schools, possibly primary or secondary. However, tense is one of the important parts of English grammar that is important, needed, and also helpful for your writing as well as speaking. If you can't use the grammar correctly, then most likely your sentences are not correct, and most likely your speaking style is not correct either. So, tense, okay, guys. So, what is tense? Tense is the word that is related to times, and when any incident happens in relating to the tense and relating to the time, we call them is the kind of tense, okay. The concept of tense is related to time, as I said, and in your real life, we always describe three types of times. Okay, so what kind of three types of times? The time that's gone, or past tense, we call them past tense. The time which we have now, we call present tense. The time which hasn't come yet, we call them future tense. Okay, so today, as I said, we'll discuss present tense. So, present tense, past tense, and future tense. And according to the grammatical classification, each tense has four sections or four classes, you should say: indefinite or simple, continuous or progressive, perfect, and sometime in some countries the perfect tense is called pluperfect, and past and perfect continuous. As you see, continuous is also progressive. So present indefinite tense or present simple, present continuous or present progressive, present perfect continuous, or present perfect progressive. But there are some basic things we need to understand before we discuss tense. Number one is verb. If you remember, verb is one of the important, parts of the parts of speech. And what is verb? If you remember that, verb generally verb is when you do something else, like an action verb. There's, depending on the verb classification, there are action verbs, there are modal verbs, and there are static verbs, and there is also transitive, intransitive verb. There are classification, but what does verb mean? Okay, so if you understand the definition of verb, then it will be easier and better for us, because each of the verb has three forms, like present tense, present, past, and past participle. So we'll discuss present tense in this lesson today. On second year viewers, do not forget to touch the heart shaped symbol. Okay, so as you see, present simple or indefinite, then present continuous or progressive, present perfect, or then present perfect continuous or progressive. you can say. So how do you form this present simple, and when we should know it's a present tense? All right. Basically, present simple are those, you know, actions that we do repetitively, very often, as a habitual fact, or we use present simple for the universal truth, like the sun rises in east, moon lights at night, the earth, you know, rotates in its own orbit. So these are the some universal fact. Okay. If you do something again and again, like I watch television every day. I join teacher Rahat's live stream every Saturday morning. Okay, so look, these are repetitive, and also we use present indefinite or simple when uh, something is happening again and again, and there is a signal word we call every. If you find this word every, then we have to use present simple or indefinite. Okay, like I visit London every summer. They go to Paris every winter. And Jim visits the Statue of Liberty every holiday. So look, every holiday, every summer, every winter, these are repetitive, and we must use present simple or present indefinite in that case. Do not use present continuous like I'm visiting, I'm joining, I'm going. No. All right. So that's the basic form of present simple and present indefinite. Now, I was specially asked to describe present perfect. So when can we use present perfect? This is the most important part of understanding present perfect tense. And generally, its formation is subject, has or have, plus past participle form of the verb. If you remember, we've discussed earlier that each verb has three forms: present tense, past tense, and past participle form. But before that, we need to understand when can you use present perfect. Okay, so we got to be very careful about the present perfect tense because many learners are confused about the present perfect and past indefinite. So, what is a present perfect? In present perfect, we start an action or a work in the past or a situation that started in the past and continues up to now in the present. Okay, so it is sometimes a bit confusing. If I give example, then it will be clear. Say, I have lived in the UK since 24, 2004. I'm sorry, not 24, 2004. So, let me give you the example once again. I have lived in the UK since 2004. This is a present perfect, which means I came to this country in 2004. I'm still living here. So that is the important part to understand. Present perfect tense when a verb states about something or an action or a situation that started in the past and continues up to now, up to present. Okay. And very often, as I said, our learners get confused with the present perfect and past simple or past indefinite. Whereas in past simple or past indefinite, that action also started in the past but finished in the past. It doesn't continue to present. We have to be careful about that. Okay, so that is an important part to understand. And where we use, as I said, the general formation is subject. And if you remember, the subjects could be first person, second person, or third person. So first person subject is I in singular form, we in plural form. Second person subject is always you. Remember that. Uh, you, singular and plural form. But one surprising matter, though it is singular and plural form you, when we use this you in a grammar, either present or past tense, we must always, uh, you know, take the you as a plural form, which is why we say we, you are in the present form, okay? And the past form you were, not you was. Remember that, guys. Do not use you was. Though I have seen many learners are confused. Why we should use you were? Use a singular. Yes, because we don't know what does the you stand for. It could be singular, plural, but in grammar we must always treat you as a plural form. That's why we don't say you is or you was. We say you are and you were. And apart from this first person and second person, anything and everything in this world is third person. And the problem with the third person is singular number and plural number. Many a times, our learners are confused. Which one is singular number, third person? Now, look, I, you, and we. These are first person, second person. Anything, everything. So, what is anything and everything? The first one is any person's name. Could be Rahat, Donald Trump, could be George Bush, could be Joe Biden, or there may be a British Prime Minister. Okay, or maybe your country's prime minister, country's minister, everyone is third person. Remember all the names, whether it's a person's name, a country's name, or an animal's name, is third person singular number. Now, when it becomes plural, we call them plural number. And in that case, in third person singular number, generally we give like he, she, it, any name, Rahat, etc. And the plural numbers are like children, they, those, cities, houses, etc. Okay, so what happened now in the present form? I'm just explaining from the very beginner's level. In the present form, we use I am, then we are. But in the past form, we use I was, we were, we, because we use plural. In present and form, use you were, but in the past form, we must use you were. Do not use us, okay? So similarly, he is, she is, Rahat is, etc. And in plural, lamba, like they were. Then cities were in past tense. This is the way we have to just express in a present form and past form for the first persons, second person, and third person, singular and plural. Now, if you remember, in present perfect, we have to use the past participle form of the verb. Okay, so each verb has three forms: present tense, past tense, and past participle. So if you're not sure what is the past participle form or past tense of a verb, we have to learn it from a standard grammar book. That is very much important. Okay, like I've seen, like make. Someone says the past tense of make is make it. It's no, wrong. Okay, make, made, made. Remember that when it's a matter of verb, basically there are two types of verbs in this case. One is called regular verb, another is called irregular verb. So what is a regular verb? Regular verbs are those verbs when we change to past tense or past participle, it keeps the base form of the verb and it comes like id or ed, okay, in the past tense and in past participle. So let me give you an example. uh, Help is a regular verb. Helped, helped. Look, in both past tense and past participle, the main form help is there. It didn't change, so this is a regular verb. And irregular verbs are those when it changes in the past tense and past participle. So the example which I wrote earlier, like make, is an irregular verb. It becomes made, and the past participle, it has become made as well. Similarly, some other irregular verbs very often we use is go, went, gone, do, did, done. Okay, so these are some commonly used irregular verbs. And some other regular verbs are, as you know, ask, asked. Don't say asked. Have heard many learners say this one asked. No, it is. Remember that when you're saying asked, okay, this e should be like I and D should be like T. Asked. Okay. So these are some of the verbs. Now, if you use sentences from the present perfect from this formula, which is subject plus has plus have past participle from the verb or object or complementary. So let's move on. Let's make some sentences. If you remember, after I, we must use have. After we must use have. I'm just giving basic forms of the structure. Then you have, they have, excuse me. She has, she is a third person singular number, which is why we have to use has. Rahat has. Okay, Jim has, etc. After that, we have to use the past participle of the verb. Uh, let's assume one verb, okay, do. Okay, we'll make sentences with the verb do in the different subject, like different person, first person, second person, and third person. Okay, for the first person, I have done it. Say this is the sentence, basic sentence. Then we have done it. Then you have done it. Then they have done it. Okay, then he has done it. She has done it, etc. Now, if you remember, when you are pronouncing the words, we do not pronounce or stress on every word. We stress on those words which are important and strong words. Another we call them content words. Like here, I have done it. Here, I is the content word. I have done it. And the other words that is less stressed or weaker forms, we call them functional words, like have done it. Okay. So if you just shorten it, I've done it. I have become I've. Okay. You have become yep. We have to understand this type of contraction is only acceptable, in dialogue and spoken English. And written English, generally, contractions are not allowed because it really devalues your writing quality. So contractions are only accepted, speaking, as well as even in a writing where it's direct narration. Like she said, I've done this job. Okay. Uh, Jim was telling that he has done this job. So it has become weaker form. When you said you have, here you and have is stronger form, but when you say yep, then have becomes weaker form. Yes, etc. So there are some examples my students send me in my subscriber chat. I'm going to show you guys. What's the problem, and especially he says that very often he gets emails from his suppliers or his clients where they write this type of sentence. I'm going to give an example, so that it will be more clear for you. Okay. And now I'm sure we have understood more or less what is present perfect. Present perfect tense, an action or situation that started in the past but continued up to now. So that is the present perfect. But in past simple or past indefinite, an action or situation that started in the past and finished in the past. And when we can't use present perfect, if you find words like the yesterday, last week, last year, 2020, October last year, we do not use present perfect in this case. We use past simple. One of the common mistakes, like I have seen the movie yesterday. Okay, it is not correct because yesterday is mentioned. If it was not mentioned yesterday, possibly it would be correct. Like I've seen the movie. That's fine. Okay, because there is no time frame, no time mentioned, then I've seen the movie. It could be a little while ago I've seen the movie. But if you want to mention a time, remember them. Tense is always related to time. Any type of tense, either present or past or future. But if you say that, oh, I've seen the movie in 2015, then it's incorrect again. I've seen the movie 2015. It is incorrect. And the reason, because it is mentioned the time frame 2015 is a past tense. So we should use, and we must use in this case, I saw the movie or I watched it. I saw the movie in 2015. All right, I'm going to give more examples so that it will be more clear. And hang on a moment, please, guys. This is the examples my student forwarded me. Teacher, this is the sentence I got from one of my clients, and I'm confused. Okay. I'm going to write it in the comment section, guys. So that's the sentence. I'm sure you can read it. It's coming in a moment. We have forwarded the email to you on 1st October 2021, but have not received any feedback until now. Look at the sentence pattern. We have forwarded the email to you on 1st October 2021 once again, but have not received any feedback until now. This sentence in the first part, the signal word is October 2021, but today is say 13th November, right? So October 21 is already past, the past tense. If you ever find this type of sentences, so it is grammatically incorrect. We have to remember another thing, guys. When we are having conversation or when we are having any spoken statements to someone else, sometimes we don't treat any mistake as a mistake. All right. But if you speak grammatically more sensible way, then your conversation would be awesome, amazing, and unparalleled, I should say. So here, the first word, we have forwarded the email to you on 1st October is grammatically incorrect. It may be correct in your native language. It may be correct in my native language too, but in English grammar, it is not correct at all. It should be, we forwarded the email to you on 1st of October 2021, but there should be a comma, though the person missed it. I remember that using punctuation is very much important. And also capitalization. Do you know what is capitalization, guys? Uppercase, lowercase. So the first rule of capitalization or uppercase or lowercase, that each and every sentence must start with capital letter regardless. The first letter should be capital. And also the subject I is always capital. Though many people use it singular form, do not ever use that. Always it in uppercase, capital letter I. Okay, and there is a quiz for you. I'm going to ask you after this explanation. And also, if it is a proper name, if it is a, I should say proper name, yes, I mentioned. Or if it is a common name, we don't use capital letter. So what is a proper name? Like name of the cities like London, Jakarta, Paris, New York, uh, or any country's name is proper name like Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, Europe, UK, USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. We must always use the capital at the beginning, regardless whether the word is. It's called capitalization or using the uppercase in the right place. Okay, so remember that here the person missed a comma as well, and used now is capital N, which is incorrect. So this sentence should be, we forwarded rather than we have forwarded. We forward the email to you on, and the person makes the also article on the 1st of October. Remember that we use article before all. There are two types of number, cardinal and ordinal number. Ordinal number, this is ordinal number. On the 1st October 2021, but a comma, have not received any feedback until now. Now is capital and it's not needed. Now smaller. So second part is correct because until, the word until always relates to your present form, up to now, which means. Okay, so we forwarded the email to you on the 1st of, it's 1st October or on the 1st of October. Yep, that's fine. 2020, but have not received any feedback until now. So this part, have not received any feedback until now. if you remember, the present perfect tense always deals with the situation which is up to the present time, present form. So they have not received any feedback up to now. That's correct. Though the sentence started in the past tense, but the second part is present perfect is correct too. So these are called complex sentences. If you remember complex and compound sentences, so when there are two clauses or two sentences, each of them are independent, call them complex, and each of one of them is dependent to other one, we call them compound. So these are the some explanations for how we should use the present perfect tense. Okay, let me give you more examples, dear viewers. I'm going to get some more examples in a moment. Another common example of present perfect tense is an action performed so during a period that has not finished yet. Like, I have been to cinema twice this week. Have you ever been to London? Like, I have been to cinema twice this week. Okay, so this is another good example of present perfect. It means I went to cinema, and also possibly I have gone today, which is why it is correct. I've been to cinema twice this week. And very often we use this expression, have you ever been to London? Because the past participle form of be is been. Okay, so be, been, been. We need to be aware. The past participle form be, the verb be is be, been in past tense, and past participle form is also been. Another good example is that uh, have you visited Paris? Have you ever visited Paris, you should say, or have you visited Paris? In the answer, you could say, yeah, we have visited Paris few times or several times. Have you ever visited Paris? So that's a simple questions, okay? You can say, yeah, we have visited Paris. We have visited Paris a few times, or you can say several times. And another good example is an action that was completed in the very recent past. And in these types of examples, as a learner, we many times get confused. Say, I just have finished my homework. I just have finished my homework. Or I just have finished my live streaming. Finished my teaching. Or live streaming. Or live stream. Both are correct. So few more examples are uh, like, he has read War and Peace. Okay. Other examples are when we get confused whether it's a past tense or present perfect. So we have to always remember, in present perfect, an action started in the past always and continuing to the present. Like, I haven't lived in this place for many years. I haven't lived in this county. I haven't lived in this county for many years. So dear viewers, once again, if you see the heart-shaped symbol, just touch it once to support me. So this is a very good example. I haven't lived in this county for many years. County, you know? County is borough we call, or province in Canada, and state in America. But in the UK we call either borough or county. Another example would be, she has worked for the bank. I mean, she has worked in the bank for a few years. And we have had some amazing food just now, you see. Have you played the piano since you were a child? These are some of the examples. And some of other examples are when the time period referred to has not finished. I've worked hard this week. Okay, you have practiced a lot this week. Remember, if it is this week, this year, today, then we have to use present perfect tense rather than past indefinite. But if it is last year, last week, last month, last century, last decade, we have to use past tense. So you got to be careful. So other examples are like repeated action but unspecified period. Like they have seen the movie 7 times. Like I've seen the James Bond movies, the new one, 3 times. It has happened to her several times already. Someone has called you few times today. Jenny has eaten her favorite dish today. Okay, so these are some examples. And also, have you just finished your work? No, I haven't finished it yet. Oh, we have just seen the new book. Oh, has Linda left? These are the some of the ways you can ask. Okay, so these are the some examples in positive forms. We're going to explain some negative forms, interrogative forms, and negative interrogative. Okay. Okay, so that's the basic form, guys. Once again, subject has or have plus past participle form of the verb plus object or complementary. That is the basic form. Now, let me see. Present continuous. Okay. Present perfect tense. If you remember, we have already explained the basic form. Subject, have, has, verb, past participle. I've done the job. You have completed your task. She has finished it. Now, present tense, that is positive form. Positive form is the general statement. And we have used the verb do in this case. Subject, have, has, past participle form of the verb. I've done the job. I've done it. She has done it. And if you want to make it negative, so you have to use not after has or have, like I have not done it, or I haven't, if you contract it. Okay, I have not. If you contract it, it should be haven't. I haven't done it. Now you're making negative form. Like similarly, she has not done it. She hasn't done it. So if you make the contractions, sometimes in a year fluency increases. Instead of saying she has not done it, she hasn't done it. And when you're talking, remember that there is, once again, we must talk in a natural way. And a natural way is talking depends on your articulation, on your connected speech, the rule of connected speech. Connected speech theory is the theory that is most of the times, natives follow. But because we don't understand the connected speech as a non-native, sometimes, our sounds are not correct, and sometimes our sentence may not be the accurate way presented because of the connected speech. And in order to understand connected speech, we need to understand, basic pronunciation techniques or phonetics techniques. If we all are aware that English language is not a phonetic language, which means it shouldn't be pronounced the way it is spelled or written. It has got some rules, it has got some strategies, it has got some guidelines, and these guidelines are called phonetic alphabets, IPA, International Phonetic Alphabets. And there are two types of IPA. I'm sure you're aware of it. One of them is the American IPA, where the Americans follow it. Another is the British IPA, the British follow it. We have to also bear in mind that because English language was developed in the UK over the 700 years, so British IPA would be more difficult than the American IPA, because the American English was later derived from the British English, and it was written in a different ways. And I'm sure some of the differences, like some of the IPA sounds, some of the expressions, some of the spellings were different. Some of the grammar rules are different though. So which is important for us to know. Okay, so let's move on. Negative sentence: subject, have, has, not, past participle, like I haven't done this job. Or you can say the examples: I haven't seen the movie for years. Oh, I haven't seen the new James Bond movie yet. Have you ever seen this movie this week? No. Have you eaten your dinner? Now I'm going an interrogative now. Uh, they haven't seen the movie yet. No one has joined my lesson today, for example. Up to now, my subscribers are all in holiday. They just, guys, sorry, they just informed me they're on holiday this week, but still I need to continue my lesson so that they can watch it. So negative form. Now, when it's a matter of interrogative, remember, making interrogative is very easy. Bring the helping verb. Which one is the helping verb here, guys? Subject, have, has, not, past participle form. Has, have is the helping verb or auxiliary verb. Just bring the helping verb at the beginning of the sentence and make sure you use the uh, you know interrogation mark. Otherwise, it will be deemed incorrect. So bring the has or have at the beginning, like I have done it. Have I done it? You have done it. Have you done it? She has done it. Has she done it? Okay, so these are the ways you can explain. And the next one is interrogative with WH sound. Okay, so WH sound is very easy. Bring the WH before the helping verb. So have I done it? Simply add why. Why have I done it? Or how have you done it? Similarly, has she done it? Why has she done it? How has she done it? Okay, these are some examples. Now, if you want to make negative interrogative, which is sometimes a bit confusing, remember that negative interrogative, if we use not should come after the subject, and if you use contraction, then that's easy. So let's go with the without the contraction first. Uh, Negative interrogative, like have I not done it, or haven't I done it? Look at those examples. If you use not in full form, have I, not should be used, always remember guys, after the subject. Have I not done it? Or if you contract it, haven't I, then not is coming with have. So haven't I done it? Okay. Similarly, has she not done it? Now if you contract it, hasn't she done it? So we have to be careful about using the contraction and the full form. So have I not done it? Once again, haven't I done it? Similarly, have you not done it, or haven't you done it? So has she not done it? Another example, has she not done it? Now, if you make it contraction again, hasn't she done it? Okay, and now you can bring again WH question. So you know that WH question like why, which, where, when, what. Remember that though there is a H in WH question, H is silent. We don't say which, we say which. We don't say when, we say when. We don't say what, we say what. We don't say whatever, we say whatever. Okay, we need to be careful because pronunciation, sounding correctly is very much important for you in order to be a good speaker. All right, guys. So the next one is negative interrogative with WH questions like why I have not done it, why, or if you contract it, why I have not done it. So this is the example. Now in contractions form, sorry, if you remember, why haven't I done it? So the not is coming with had. Why haven't I done it? Not why I haven't done it. It should always remember why haven't I? Okay, why haven't I? Not why, yeah? H is silent. Why haven't I done it? Why did you do that? Why have you done it? Why have you done it? Why haven't you done it? Okay, I made a mistake in heaven. Sorry, guys. Why? My apology, guys. So typing error. Why haven't I done it? When I'm trying to type fast, I always make mistakes. I need to be careful. Yeah, this is the correct one. Why haven't I done it? Okay, guys. So these are the forms very often we use in present perfect tense. Once again, I'm going to recap present perfect. So present perfect tense refers to an action state that either occurred at indefinite time in the past or began in the past and continued to the present time. This is the highlight. Continue to the present time. Remember that. And the basic difference between the past participle, I mean past indefinite and present perfect is that past indefinite an action started in the past, finished in the past. Whereas in present perfect, once again, the action or situation started or occurred in the past but continued up to the present time. So in simple word, an action started in the past but has completed or achieved perfection at present. From the name you can see perfect. Perfect means when something is completed, we say is perfect. And the simple form, once again, subject, have, has, verb, past participle plus object or any other words. And we need to know the past participle form for each and every verb when you're using in present perfect. And then same rule applies for the past perfect and future perfect. Okay, remember all the perfect tenses past participle form. If you understand the present perfect, then it is easy for you to understand the past perfect. And we use different kinds of forms, present positive, negative, have not or haven't. Interrogative, we bring the has, have at the beginning. If you want to make a WH interrogative, bring a WH sound at the beginning, like why have I? And again, if you use negative interrogative, then have I not done it or haven't I done it in contraction form, which I already have given examples earlier. And the negative interrogative with WH question, bring the WH at the beginning. Why, what, how, it, etc. So that is all for today's present perfect tense. It is an important matter for us to know the present perfect tense clearly, because very often our learners get confused. I'm going to try to give some examples more. Okay, guys. Okay, so I'm going to share a test page, so that you can understand. Once again, dear viewers, you're watching the live stream from the UK, and our local time is 6:20 a.m. Saturday morning. It's a subscribers lesson. If you're interested to join any of my lessons, simply visit my account and subscribe from there. It's $10 for a month, and you'll get 8 1-hourly lessons where you can learn, practice, develop your English language as well as your confidence level to the next level. So look, this is one of some examples. Number one, so did you finish or have you finished painting the bedroom yet? Not yet. I'll finish it tomorrow. Look at the signal word here, yet. Okay, if you find this word yet, that means up to present time. For the present time, we must use present perfect tense. Remember, guys? So it should be, have you finished painting the bedroom yet? Not yet. I'll finish it tomorrow. And next sentence, I haven't earned much last year, but again, let me do this first one first. Hang on a second. So I look haven't earned much last year. Look at the signal word last year. If you remember, the rule is that if there is last year, last week, last month, last decade, last century, that is simply past tense or past indefinite. So it should be I didn't earn much last year, not I haven't earned. Okay, so it should be this one, the correct form. But I dash I have earned, or I earned a lot this year. Look, the signal word this year. This year is up to present time, so it should be present perfect. This part. All right. Now look at this. Have you had or did you have a holiday recently? Remember here the signal word is recently. Okay. So in that case, we have to use simply present perfect, which is, have you had a holiday recently? Have you had a holiday recently? No, I haven't had my holiday yet, but I'm planning to have my holiday very soon. Okay, so that is the correct answer, guys. All right, and the next one is, we dash last week. Look, again the signal word last. I'm sure you know which one is the correct answer. We have arrived, or we arrived. Definitely past simple. We arrived last week. Then second sentence, we dash have been where here for 5 days. So 5 days means up to now 5 days. Remember that. So we have been. That's the correct form. Okay, next one. Mr. Burns is very important in this company. So he worked here for 30 years. He has worked here for 30 years. What is the answer, guys? It could be confusing. Remember that once an action starts in the past and 30 years, that means the 30 years not finished yet, which means it should be present perfect. Okay. By the way, dear viewers, I'm going to make a public live stream after 90 minutes, because there is another lesson for me. As soon as I finish the lesson, possibly you can come and participate this test, and we'll have more interaction, more comments, more questions, more explanation, more questions about English grammar. Hello, Usha, and Nazli has joined from the YouTube. Oh, I forgot nearly, dear viewers. My live stream has been shared through the Facebook Live as well as the YouTube Live, and there are some people watching from there. Thanks, dear viewers, who have joined from there. Please carry on watching. Bring more people to my channel. so that you are really confident to develop your English grammar. Grammar is honestly very easy once you understand, and it is very amazing. When you understand, you can use it in your conversation as well as your writing. And we have to also remember that when it's a matter of speaking and conversation, many a times it is not important that there are mistakes in grammar, that people will not take it seriously. But when it's a matter of writing, we must try to use the correct grammar form to get the good marks either in any academic exam or like school or college or university or any certificate exam like IELTS, TOEFL, CELTA, Delta, or any other exams. Okay, so we need to be careful, which is why you need to study grammar. And very often I compare, if English language is a city, grammar is the traffic rules, okay, which controls red light, green light, amber light, left, right, stop, zebra crossing, emergency crossing, etc. Okay, and also I compare, if grammar is a body, I mean, if English language is a body, grammar it would be the bones of the body, which gives the shape of the body. All right, and grammar teaches us how we can express ourselves more clearly, understandable, and logical way. All right, so these are some of the examples, guys. All right, so let's move on. We have got 3 minutes only. Let's do a few more tests. Uh, he loves gardening. Dash, he dash a gardener all his life. So he was a gardener or he has been a gardener. Look, all his life, this is the signal word. This life has not finished yet. So it is a present perfect. He has been a gardener all his life. The next one is, have you seen or did you see anything like this before? Like this before. That means this action has taken recently. Like, have you eaten anything like before? Have you seen this kind of movie before? Have you joined this kind of live stream before? Or have you finished your homework before? So it is simply present perfect, not past tense, guys. Okay. And next example is, this is the most delicious dish I have ever eaten or I ever ate. Which one is correct in this case? Have ever eaten or ever ate? Look at the first part of this sentence, though there is a grammar mistake. There should be a S. It is not this the, it should be this is the. So the person who uploaded the test made a mistake. So it should be, this is the most delicious dish I have ever eaten. Present perfect, because this is the present tense, this part. Okay, next one is, I never saw him behave like this. Look at this signal word here. There is a present form of a verb which is behave. So if you don't know which one to choose, choose simply according to the verb. Behave is present tense, so I've never seen is another present tense. I've never seen him behave like this. And the last one is, my mother grew up in Scotland, has grown up in Scotland. So your mother, I don't know if she's still alive or not, but grew up means it's a matter of childhood. When we talk about childhood, we say that where I grew up, like I grew up in Bangladesh. Then I visited many countries and I came to this country at last. So it should be past tense. All right, guys. So check answer. All correct. Yahoo. Cool. So, dear viewers, that's really cool to see you. Thank you very much for joining. Support me, follow me. There will be a public lesson after 90 minutes, and hope to see you then. And take care. And do not forget to practice. Practice is the key factor. Okay. Thank you very much for watching. See you later. You take care and bye. Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome once again to my subscriber lesson about IELTS speaking practice. It's Saturday morning here in the UK, and our local time is 7 a.m. exactly, which is the GMT Greenwich Mean Time or the UK time. If you remember, in the winter, our time is same as GMT, which is why I have to wake up a little bit early for my lessons because these lessons were either an hour earlier. Because of the time it has gone back an hour, so it meant to be 8 o'clock, but because of the time has gone back an hour it has become 7 o'clock, which is why it is a bit early for me. And the 6:30 lessons went to 5:30, and 8 o'clock's lessons went to 7 o'clock. However, I'm just habituated to taking for the last few weeks, couple of weeks I should say. And once again, dear viewers, as you might be aware, this is a subscriber lesson. Only my subscribers can join, come, and comment. If you're interested to develop your English language, your grammar, your sound to the next level, possibly you may consider joining any of my lessons. Though I've got different lessons from Monday to Sunday, especially Saturday and Sunday, 2 lessons in the morning, and at night there is one more Saturday lesson on Sunday and Mondays and Saturday as well. Then I'm trying to remember Wednesday, then Friday, then again Saturday, Sunday at night. So choose any of the times, and if you think that those times are matching and you can join, possibly you may consider joining any of my lessons. All right, dear viewers, and thank you very much once again for joining. Today, we are going to talk about some basic principles of speaking. And I'm sure that if you practice, if you learn, and if you develop yourselves by following these techniques, it will be easier for you to take your language to the next level. And give me one quick moment, dear viewers, I'll be back. Sorry, guys, I had an emergency call, so I had to receive it. Okay, as I was saying, so these are the marks distribution for the IELTS speaking, and it is important for all of us to know how important for you to be aware about IELTS, marking techniques. And also in IELTS exam, it is not only in the English language you have to know. It is the strategies that you need to be aware how you're going to get better marks or good marks or your required marks. Okay. And very often it is observed that many of our learners have the trend to mix up the two types of pronunciation, as a British pronunciation and American pronunciation. If I give you an example, it will be clear. You see, I have heard a guy was saying, "Look, I like to follow American accent," and when I asked him, "Can you please uh, say this sentence?" And I'm writing the sentence for you. The sentence is, "I have got a mobile." Okay, and he was not aware that mobile has two different pronunciation. One is the British pronunciation, another is the American pronunciation. American says it mobile, where I is the short sound, and for the British pronunciation it is mobile, I sound after B. Okay, so the I is I sound for the British pronunciation and schwa sound for the American pronunciation. So there are hundreds or thousands of words like this where they've got distinct and different way of pronouncing the words, which is why you need to be careful being an IELTS candidate and being a good English speaker. When you're having conversation, it is important for you to know the difference, which is why we need to study the basic IPA. And this is one of my courses. I teach a British IPA, basic IPA, through my all of my lessons, whether you are registered or you are enrolled for IELTS, or maybe English practice or monthly live streaming or the phonetics or grammar, or whatever lesson you are registered for my subscription. Okay, so let's move on. So there are some tips in IELTS exam, and as in as what should I say, as a responsible learner and as a potential candidate, you need to know these tips. Number one, grammar. Use correct grammar. What does it mean? Many I have gone to many live streams and many YouTube videos even. Many English teachers, famous teachers, they always say that you don't need to know grammar. Honestly, these are not the right explanation. You need to know grammar. Okay, without grammar there is no way you can make correct sentence. There is no way you can write a clear 100% accurate sentence. Okay, so even it is applicable for speaking, but in speaking we make mistakes, that's fine, but those mistakes are not maybe treated such an important way, but it will really affect your score. It will have a negative impact on a score if you don't have good grammar in speaking. So grammar always tells us how you can, generate a sentence or use a sentence correctly, most appropriate way and most timely manner. Okay. So it is important to know the grammar while you are, IELTS candidate. Even for the real life situation as well, I suggest that you should know grammar. Next one is clarity. What does the clarity means? Do not mumble, speak clearly. So clarity means when you're having conversation but you're not pronouncing the words clearly or correctly. Okay, uh, sorry, I should say clearly, not correctly. Correctly is related to the accuracy, so it is the third point, clearly. So sometimes, when you're having conversation, maybe you're a bit tired, maybe you're a bit nervous, or possibly you're scared or sheepish. Sheepish means kind of nervous or shyness, or possibly you're petrified and you never have the uh, experience in speaking publicly. We call it glossophobia. So if you have any of these, negative qualities, then it will be difficult for you to speak clearly. So remember that when we are children, we started shouting clearly, to draw the attention of our parents or maybe other relatives or neighbors. Similarly, just picture it when you're having conversation in IELTS or any other interactive session, you must speak clearly. Possibly your pronunciation might be wrong or may not be accurate. That's a different case, but pronounce the word clearly. Okay, so speak clearly, which we call clarity. Uh, Point number three, accuracy. So I'm sure all of you know that accuracy means correction, corrected form. Focus on clear grammar and precisions. Do not try to use new words or phrases you're not sure of. This is very important. Okay. So you have to maintain accuracy while you're having conversation, while you're presenting yourself, or while you are having interaction with other speakers or with an examiner. Could be an academic exam or an English exam. So use accurate word, clear grammar, and precision means how a word should be pronounced accurately, which is why we need to know at least the basic pronunciation techniques, whether the British IPA or the American IPA. I've given an example already, guys. I've got a mobile. Okay, so if someone says that, hey, I follow American accent or American pronunciation, but the person is not aware the mobile is not pronounced mobile in American English, then that is the striking part. That means the person is not aware many things. And when you use this kind of expression in front of an examiner, the examiner will think that, okay, this guy doesn't know how to pronounce it, but saying American accent, or pronunciation, then it's really give a very negative idea. All right. But nowadays, it is really has become a trend. Our speakers get amalgamated pronunciation. So the meaning of amalgamated is mixing up. They've started with the British pronunciation. Afterward, they followed the American pronunciation. And afterward, they don't follow anything else. So remember that you don't have to be sound like a British or American, but your pronunciation should be accurate. If you'd like to get good marks in exam, it could be IELTS exam or it could be any other interactive session. Okay. And look at the third, second part of the third point. Do not try to use new words or phrases you're not sure of. So you know new words or vocabulary, but you don't know how to make sentences. Now you think that, oh, it's my time. Maybe I can use this word before I'm just sitting for the exam now. But what happens basically, you're trying to use the word and this word is not used correctly. So the sentence has gone wrong. The, obviously, the examiner might be surprised or shocked to find out that you're using the word wrongfully. So it is important for you to be careful to use those words for the first time, new words or new phrases or vocab. Okay. Next one is for self-correction. Always correct yourself if you have made a mistake. Remember that self-development, self-correction is one of the greatest ways to develop your English level to the next. Okay. So how you can correct yourself? This is another important and challenging question. When you don't know between the right and wrong, correct or incorrect, how you can get the corrections? But sometimes, being a responsible and being a good learner, you can find yourself that, oh, I have made a mistake, I can correct it. So what happens basically, you're making a grammatical mistakes, uh, uh, you can find that, oh, that's a mistake, you corrected. Like if I give you the example, very often I've seen our learners use like you was coming, you is singular, they think. In grammar, you is always plural. We don't say you was coming. In past tense, you should be you were coming. So if you ever say mistake in there, you was coming, and that's, oh, sorry, it should be you were coming. So self-correction with this, if you ever do it in a real life exam in IELTS, and if you do that in front of the exam, my examiner will be writing a note that, oh, the person has made a mistake and also corrected in the next moment. So I'm giving quarter marks more. So you're going to get a little bit more marks, maybe half marks. You never know. Okay, and also I also suggest, if you have an audio device or a mobile phone, choose a topic and record there, and you listen to it, and very often you'll be able to understand your mistakes. Then you can amend it yourself. You re-record. You re-record until you think that all of your words are accurate or correct. Okay, this is one of the greatest ways to challenge yourself and develop your grammar. Point number 5: talk loudly. Talk loud enough so that examiner can hear you, assess you. Do not speak too fast or too low. Here is the clue. Too fast. I've seen people are talking too fast when they don't have the clarity, they don't have the accuracy, they don't have the correct pronunciation. And sometimes, if you're speaking too slow, then you're really slowing down all the thought process, and you're really annoying others because you're speaking too slowly, like the way I'm talking. I'm talking too slowly so that you understand me. No, this is very slow. Or I'm talking too slowly. No, other way. I'm talking too fast so that the people can understand me and just can follow me. No, this is too fast as well. So do not be too fast and do not be too slow. Medium space. So what is the space you should maintain? The pace, speed we should maintain. We should maintain 3 seconds gap. So this is a very unique technique in the IELTS exam. When you're talking, remember, when you choose a word, do not give a gap more than 3 seconds, like 1, 2, 3. Let me give you examples. The topic is global warming. Now you have to start speaking. Global warming is a natural phenomena. 1, 2, 3 seconds gone. Then you think, oh, and it happens almost every country. You see, 4 seconds gone. You have gave a gap. So do not give a gap more than 3 seconds. Do not be pause more than 3 seconds. This is the called 3 seconds technique. 3 seconds gap technique. Okay. In IELTS exam, this technique is assessed because of your fluency, because of your good communication technique and level. Okay. So always use the word or vocab or a phrase before the 3 seconds is gone. Okay. So that is very much important factor for you to know. That is the point 6, and point number 7: be confident and positive. What does it mean, guys? Even if you know that sometimes when you're talking, when you're having conversation with other people, you're making mistakes. Be confident even if you're making mistakes. Remember that there is no penalty in general mistakes when you're having conversation with other people, but there may be penalty in IELTS exam. You never know. Yes, there is penalty. If you are not confident, if you're making mistakes when you're having conversation with the examiner in IELTS exam, the penalty is that you're not going to get good marks. You'll be disappointed. Let me give you one good example from one of my students. And if their viewers from this app, I've taken more than 142 lessons, but not all of them are recorded. And 75% cases, my students came from the different countries for the IELTS exams. And one of the students was from Bangladesh, and he said, "Teacher, I need 6.5 at least in the speaking." So when I took the assessment and I took his test, and I said to him, "Look, possibly you're not going to get more than 6, because he had grammatical inaccuracy, number one, the first problem. He had fluency problem. This is the major problem. And he was not confident when he was talking. He was confused. To give an example, like he said, say I am, no, he is. You see, he's confused. First he said I am, then says no, he is. So do not be confused like that. Okay, always be straight in talking, even if it is a mistake. Make the mistakes deliberately. Just carry on talking. So always be confident and positive in your thoughts whenever you're having the speaking task. Number 8: do not be repetitive. That is another important problem for many of our learners. Okay, so what does the repetitive mean? Sometimes you try to use the same word. We call them filler as well. Like actually is one of them. I remember that I had a student who always uses actually in every 3 to 4 seconds. I asked him, "Hey, how are you doing today?" Teacher, I'm doing fine. Actually, I was busy. Actually, I'm here. Actually, I'm going home. He's using actually again and again, repetitive. These are called fillers, and sometimes it is annoying for the examiner. So do not be repetitive. So there are some words you can use once or twice possibly, but do not use every time. Use different synonyms. All right, so that will be helpful for you for your development. Oh, Aryan, you are late. That's okay, no problem. Thanks for joining, though. I was giving some of the tips for the speaking techniques. Possibly you can watch it later. It will be helpful for you to develop your fluency and speaking technique. And also, do not forget to do the homework that I gave you last night. It is important for you to do the homework. So I'm happy to see you, by the way. And remember that be always positive. That is our saying, and confident. Okay. Uh, if you are not positive and confident, then it will be difficult for you to practice and move forward. You have to be always positive. You have to be always confident. Okay. So as I was saying, repetitive. That's great. I'm happy to know that. I believe that everything is okay in your family as well as your business. All right. Okay. Oh, sorry. Then some people use like I've done this job a while ago. I'm good at grammar. He has been learning English. This is another filler. Do not use the similar words or don't be repetitive. And some people use well. Mhm. Well, do not use same words again. It could be disturbing for the listeners. Okay, so these are some of the examples I've given. Do not be repetitive. And also, when you're using an adjective for an example, do not use the same adjective again. Use a different kind of synonym or example. All right. Okay, let's move on. Point number, not question 9. Use different kinds of vocabulary. So that is related to the repetitive. When you're using a same word for explanation, definitely use different kinds of vocabulary. Okay. So if I give you a simple example, like beautiful. Aryan, if you're here, maybe you can listen to me as well and see this word. Beautiful, I'm writing. Beautiful. So beautiful is an adjective, right? So if you have to use beautiful for other sentences, we should know the different synonyms of beautiful. So what are the synonyms of beautiful? Attractive, yes. Attractive, one of them. And what are the other synonyms? Maybe amazing. You can say sometime. Each vocabulary has too many synonyms. This makes me overwhelmed. Yeah, use the most common that you use in your daily conversation. And then you can say, what is the other synonym of beautiful? Good looking. Yeah, good looking. Do you know any other synonyms of beautiful, Arian? There are loads. Pretty. Another one is pretty. Yeah. Another one is, I said good looking already. Yeah? Pretty, good looking. What are the other synonyms possibly? Handsome. You remember that we use handsome for boys. Gorgeous. Yes, very good. Splendid. This is very high standard academic word. Stunning, stunning beauty. Splendid. Gorgeous. Gorgeous is very beautiful. Remember that these are very good words, Aryan. Or lovely. Another one. Charming. I'm just giving some examples. So when you're using beautiful in a sentence, try to use different kinds of, synonyms. Oh, what happened, Aryan? Yeah, picturesque. Very good. Picturesque. Amazing. This is very standard word. There is another one. I'm trying to remember. What is the other synonym of beautiful? Charming. Oh, your connections. Okay. Delightful. Another one. Charming. Yes, charming. Very good, Aryan. So remember that when you're trying to use the same word, just use the different kinds of synonyms in your examples. So that is another suggestion and good suggestions. All right, number 10, make it personal. Give an example about yourself. So when you're having conversation, remember that do not give anyone's example. People might be offended. So say about yourself. Like if you like to give an example with the word beautiful, like it's a beautiful day. I like walking in a beautiful day. I like practicing in a beautiful day. Now do not use beautiful once again, yeah? I like practicing in an attractive day. I like listening to music in a delightful day. It is gorgeous to have some good friends on a beautiful day. Look, you're using beautiful but making many sentences, different meaningful sentences, okay? Like it, I like my day should be charming, for example, okay? So these are some of the examples. Always you're using yourself as an example. Do not bring someone else's example, okay? Where people might be offended. Uh, Number 11, make it interesting. Explain it in an interesting way. Remember that when you're giving examples, when you're explaining something, make sure it becomes interesting. It looks interesting as well. So how you can make a thing interesting? Remember that more or less we talk about if you have been asked a topic similarly, but make it interesting. Like I remember that I asked one of my students, IELTS candidates, to describe a photograph you like most, and the person really made it interesting this way. Uh, every morning, the person started like this. When I wake up, I see this photo which is beside my, you know, study table or reading table. It's no one but my mom's photo. I live in abroad. Yeah, I study in a master's program in an international university in the UK. But I keep the photo of my mom beside my reading table. Look, this is a bit interesting. He was describing a photo, but now he's also describing the environment and the situation, how this photo is important. Whenever I see the photo, look, he's saying more. It looks like my mother is there for my blessing. And she always used to advise, do the hard work so that you can be successful. So every time, whenever I look at the photo, it reminds me her that quotation, her blessings. I believe that my mom is always with me. Look, this is an interesting story he was explaining. So when you are giving any examples, make it bit interesting so that your listeners can understand, oh, that person is referring the photo but bringing his mother and just correlating. This is an important for you in order to be a good speaker. Remember that. Make the topic bit interesting so that everyone can enjoy it. Okay, the next point would be I missed one point, I think. What was the point again? I'm trying to find out. Talk it loudly. Yes. If you don't talk loudly, the if the examiner can't hear you, the examiner will not be able to assess you. Your listeners will not be able to understand you as well. Okay, that is very much important for you. So talk loudly, clearly. Number 12, stick to the point. That is another important factor to be a good speaker, to get good score in IELTS exam. So you have been asked to describe global warming. Now we are telling about the Second World War. Is it relevant? No. You're not talking about the point. You're going somewhere else. So, and literally, the examiner will understand that, oh, this person doesn't have any idea what is the person is talking about. So you're bringing irrelevant things. Even in a real life situation, we don't do that. So don't do it in an exam. So you have been asked to talk about the topic, just talk it. Talk about the topic only, or maybe related information. The way I said earlier, describing a photo, and this person was describing is my mom's photo. My mom's photo is beside my reading table, and whenever I see, it reminds me her advice. You see, this is related to the topic. It's not going beyond the topic. You can always correlate in somehow when you're describing a topic. So always be sure that you stick to the point or stick to the topic, only describe about the topic or any other related information. And number 13, which is important as well, talk as much as you can. Now, if you remember in IELTS Q cut section, the second part test, you'll be given a topic. Sometimes, sometimes the questions are there, and sometimes the teacher can say, choose a card on the table randomly. So when you choose or when you'll be given a topic, you'll see the topic. Now you'll be given 1 minute time to think of it, and after that you'll be asked to talk about the topic at least 2 minutes. Remember that in 2 minutes you can talk a lot, but don't think that it is only for 2 minutes. It should be more than that. Talk as much as possible, but make sure you talk at least 2 minutes. So what are you going to talk? Remember that when you see the question from the cue card, answer these questions first. Make it interesting story. So in IELTS exam, the cue card is nothing but you are creating a story of your own. This is how the examiner wants to understand and listen to you, how you are capable of creating a story, even it didn't happen to you. But if something happened matching to the cue card topic, then it's better. Describe what happened to you. Like if the topic is describe a person you admire most, similarly, you can tell your mom or dad or grandfather, grandmom, brother, sister, whoever you like. And remember that when you are liking them, give some reasons why you like them, what qualities attract you, okay, what motivates you from their character, what features. It could be their hardworking, it could be their truthfulness, it could be their consistency, it could be their the way of lifestyle, anything else. Okay, be specific. And also when you're talking, make sure you give a little bit introduction, then go to the body part and make a conclusion. So let's try to maintain the three parts: introduction, body, and conclusions. And you can always add your comment. And this introduction, body, conclusion is also good technique for a writing in IELTS exam as well. We'll discuss it some other day. Okay, so remember that when you've been asked to talk about a topic, talk as much as possible. Always make sure you talk so that your examiners can assess your speaking and give you good score. So guys, these are the most important tips for good speak and getting good marks in IELTS exam. Though my subscriber is not an IELTS exam candidate, but it will be helpful for my subscribers. It is not only for IELTS exam, it is for any other topic, any other conversation you're participating, any other place you are just showing your interest by, participating there. All right. So that's really cool, guys. And remember that, practice is the key factor. The more you practice, the more you'll be confident and the more you'll be expert. You have to remember at the end of the day, it is you who have to practice. The best American teachers, best British teachers, or the best teachers from the world and give you lessons, show you guidelines, give you information. But if you don't practice, if you don't have the opportunity to develop yourself, then there is no way you can develop yourself. Once again, uh, what I'm trying to say is that if you don't practice whatever the teacher taught you, at the end of the day, it is your loss. So I don't want you to be a loser. I want you to be achieving your required level of English, your practicing capacity. So make a table, make a plan and program. Like, uh, you have to practice reading, writing, speaking, and listening, and maintain a notebook or diary and see how it goes. And if you have any questions, or like, make sure you write it and ask your teacher. Okay. If you don't ask the teacher, if you don't write it, it will be difficult for you now to explain, and the teacher may not be aware that you don't know something. So interactions, talking, communication is important. And communication is not one-sided. Remember, it is two-sided communication. Sometimes you have to talk and teacher should listen, and when the teacher speaks, you need to listen. And if you don't understand, just ask the teacher. Okay, by either raising hands or saying, excuse me sir, or excuse me teacher, I've got a question. Could you please explain this? I'm confused. I didn't get it. Okay. And also during IELTS exam in speaking, try to use the proper manners, formal words, which is important. Do not use those words which are informal, like gonna, wanna, hapta. These are informal words. Those are not acceptable in IELTS environment. So if you would like to get good score, use the formal words. Use the full form of the words. Instead of wanna, say I want to or I would like to. Okay, use a pattern that you can develop by yourself when you're having conversation, when you're going to talk about anything. And also remember that if you don't understand any question, use excuse me or I beg your pardon. Okay, or could you please repeat, or could you please restate the last sentence. Always ask the questions like this so that your examiner can understand that it has been difficult for you to follow what the examiner said. Remember that, once again, I mention it very often, practice. Practice is the key factor to develop yourself. Practice daily, regularly, on a consistency basis. Do not leave a single day without practicing. Okay, if you leave a single day without practicing, it is your loss. Nobody is going to be loser like you. You're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, you're wasting your data, mobile data. Okay, remember that this app is here to develop your English language to the next level. Try to utilize it in a right way. Just don't spend the time for nothing. Develop yourself. That will be helpful for your academic career, for education, or maybe for your future development. You never know which one is going to be helpful for you. So it's better always try to utilize this time and this app with other speakers. Okay, I've got only 50 seconds more. I'm going to finish. I'm going to make a public live stream after that, guys. So stay connected with me. Maybe after 5 to 10 minutes, I'll take rest. I'll have something, then I'll come back to the public live stream. And thank you very much once again. I'm sure that you guys are there. You cannot make comments because it's a subscribers lesson, but you're interested to talk to me, communicate with me. So if you think that my lessons are helpful, visit the account and sign up from there, and you can learn a lot of things. Thank you very much once again for joining. It's really my pleasure to be here today. You take care and bye again. All right, guys. So, Ariane, thank you very much for coming and all the comments. See you later. Take care and bye.